When the FIFA World Cup 2026 arrives in North America, the tournament will stretch across 3 countries, dozens of cities, and some of the largest sports venues ever used for international football. Among them, one stadium will carry particular symbolic weight for the United States. Located just a few miles from Manhattan, this venue, home to the New York Giants and New York Jets of the National Football League, is scheduled to host the final match of the expanded 48-team World Cup. For a stadium originally built for American football, that transformation into the centerpiece of the world's biggest sporting event represents the culmination of more than a decade of planning, engineering, and strategic positioning. To understand why the stadium was chosen and what role it will play in 2026, you have to look at its origins, its design philosophy, its location within the New York metropolitan region, and the modifications required to turn an NFL venue into a global football stage. MetLife Stadium opened in 2010 as a replacement for the old Giants Stadium, which had stood on the same Meadowlands site since 1976. Unlike most major stadium projects in the United States, this facility was privately financed by its 2 NFL tenants, the Giants and Jets. The total construction cost was approximately $1.6 billion, making it one of the most expensive stadiums ever built at the time. The concept behind the project was unusual. Instead of building separate stadiums for each team, the 2 franchises agreed to share a single facility. This required extensive coordination between ownership groups and designers to ensure that both organizations could maintain their distinct identities inside the same structure. The architecture firm 360 Architecture, now part of HOK, led the design, while Skanska served as the construction manager. Their goal was to create a stadium flexible enough to transform visually depending on which team was playing. Interior lighting systems, digital signage, and even certain architectural accents can shift colors to reflect either the Giants' blue palette or the Jets' green branding. When the stadium opened in April 2010, it immediately became the largest NFL stadium by seating capacity, holding approximately 82,500 spectators. That size, combined with its proximity to New York City, would later prove critical when FIFA evaluated potential venues for the 2026 tournament. Although MetLife Stadium sits, technically, in New Jersey, its role within the broader New York metropolitan area cannot be overstated. For international events like the World Cup, this geographic positioning offers enormous advantages. Within a 1-hour radius of the stadium are 3 major international airports: John F. Kennedy International Airport, LaGuardia Airport, and Newark Liberty International Airport, providing direct connections to cities across Europe, Asia, Africa, and South America. Transportation access also played a role in the stadium's selection. The Meadowlands Sports Complex is connected to New Jersey Transit rail lines, regional highways, and extensive bus networks that can move tens of thousands of spectators efficiently during major events. For FIFA, staging the World Cup final near New York carries symbolic and commercial significance. It places the tournament's most important match in a location capable of attracting global media attention and tourism at an unparalleled scale. Unlike many modern stadiums that emphasize dramatic architectural flourishes, MetLife Stadium was designed with practicality and scale as its primary objectives. The structure is essentially a massive rectangular bowl wrapped in a lightweight aluminum and glass facade. The outer shell consists of horizontal louvers that change appearance depending on lighting conditions. During the day, the facade reflects sunlight and gives the building a metallic sheen. At night, LED lighting systems illuminate the exterior, creating dynamic visual effects that can shift colors based on events inside the venue. Inside the stadium, the seating bowl is divided into 4 main tiers, with suites and club areas strategically placed between levels. The design emphasizes unobstructed sightlines, ensuring that spectators in nearly every section have clear views of the field. One notable feature is the stadium's open-air configuration. Unlike many newer NFL venues with retractable roofs, MetLife Stadium does not have a permanent roof structure. Instead, it features a partial canopy that covers portions of the seating areas while leaving the playing surface exposed to the elements. This decision reduced construction costs and simplified the engineering requirements, but it also means that weather conditions, rain, wind, or extreme heat, can influence events held there. The stadium typically uses a synthetic turf system designed to withstand the heavy usage associated with American football. However, FIFA requires natural grass surfaces for World Cup matches. To accommodate this requirement, organizers will install a temporary natural grass field specifically engineered for the tournament. This process involves removing sections of the artificial turf and placing a specially cultivated grass system designed to maintain stability under intense play. The technology behind these temporary pitches has improved dramatically in recent years. Similar systems were used successfully during international friendlies and tournaments in other multipurpose stadiums around the world. Grounds crews must carefully monitor soil moisture, sunlight exposure, and root stability to ensure the pitch meets FIFA's strict performance standards. MetLife Stadium's official capacity of roughly 82,500 seats makes it one of the largest stadiums in the United States. For the World Cup, FIFA may slightly adjust seating configurations to accommodate media areas, broadcast infrastructure, and security zones. Large-scale tournaments require enormous logistical support beyond the playing field. Thousands of journalists, broadcast technicians, and tournament staff will operate inside the venue during each match. To manage this, the stadium contains extensive media facilities, including broadcast booths, press conference rooms, and dedicated camera platforms. Fiber optic networks run throughout the building, allowing high-definition video signals to be transmitted globally in real time. Luxury suites and hospitality areas also play an important role. Corporate sponsors and international dignitaries will occupy many of these spaces during the tournament, turning the stadium into both a sporting venue and a global business hub. Long before being selected for the World Cup final, MetLife Stadium had already established itself as one of the busiest large venues in North America. The stadium hosted Super Bowl 48 in 2014, marking the first time the NFL's championship game was held outdoors in a cold weather city. Despite concerns about winter conditions, the event was widely considered a success and demonstrated the venue's ability to handle massive international media attention. Beyond football, the stadium has hosted major concerts featuring artists such as Beyoncé, Taylor Swift, and Ed Sheeran. It has also staged international soccer matches involving clubs like Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Manchester United. These events served as practical tests for how the stadium operates when hosting large, global audiences. When FIFA evaluated potential venues for the 2026 tournament, dozens of stadiums across the United States, Canada, and Mexico were considered. Ultimately, only 16 venues were selected. MetLife Stadium's combination of capacity, location, and infrastructure made it one of the strongest candidates. Its ability to host large events had already been proven through the Super Bowl and numerous international matches. In 2024, FIFA confirmed that the stadium would host the World Cup final, one of the most prestigious assignments in global sport. During the tournament, FIFA will temporarily rename the venue New York, New Jersey Stadium, following the organization's policy of removing commercial naming rights during official competitions. Although the stadium remains relatively modern, several upgrades are being implemented ahead of the tournament. These include improvements to security systems, expanded media workspaces, and enhancements to digital connectivity. Stadium operators are also upgrading concession areas and crowd management technology to handle the enormous influx of international visitors. Transportation planning is another major component. Local authorities are coordinating with regional transit agencies to ensure trains and buses can handle the expected surge in passengers during match days. Security operations will involve multiple federal, state, and local agencies working together to manage crowd safety and counter-terrorism measures. Hosting the World Cup final is expected to generate significant economic benefits for the New York and New Jersey region. Hotels across the metropolitan area will experience a surge in bookings, while restaurants, retail stores, and entertainment venues will see increased tourist spending. Major sporting events often bring billions of dollars in economic activity to host regions. Local governments also hope the tournament will strengthen the region's reputation as a global destination for major sporting events. Beyond economics, the World Cup carries cultural importance. Football, known as soccer in the United States, has grown dramatically in popularity over the past 2 decades. Leagues like Major League Soccer have expanded rapidly, while the U.S. national teams continue to attract larger audiences. Hosting the World Cup final near New York symbolizes the sport's rising influence within the American sports landscape. It places the global game at the center of one of the country's most iconic metropolitan regions. For many fans, the tournament represents a once-in-a-generation opportunity to witness world-class football without traveling overseas. During the 2026 tournament, MetLife Stadium will host multiple matches leading up to the final. These games will feature teams from around the world competing in the expanded 48-team format. By the time the final arrives, the stadium will have become one of the focal points of the entire tournament. After the World Cup concludes, MetLife Stadium will return to its regular role as the home of the Giants and Jets. However, the legacy of hosting the tournament's final will remain part of its identity. The exposure generated by the event could lead to additional international matches and large-scale sporting events in the future. For the stadium itself, the World Cup represents both a milestone and a validation of the design decisions made during its construction. A facility originally built for American football will have successfully adapted to host the biggest football match on the planet. MetLife Stadium was never intended to be an architectural monument in the way some newer stadiums are. Instead, it was designed as a massive, efficient venue capable of accommodating huge crowds and a wide range of events. That practical approach has ultimately positioned it perfectly for the 2026 World Cup. With its enormous capacity, strategic location near New York City, and proven ability to host global spectacles, the stadium will provide an appropriate stage for the tournament's most important match.